And so basically the trike kit will roll up on here, the chassis tubes go up, and then the pivot pins where the original swing arms go, that's where we're going to attach back there. So this is our 6-axis CNC routing robot. We use this for fiberglass, for Motor Trike, for our commercial products. The robots do weld everything, and we do program them and have full control, but before any of these parts actually go in, we'll do the daily schedule QC inspection, bearing press, and go to paint.
This video is sponsored by Cruiseman's Garage Honda Goldwing Maintenance Video Series.
Cruiseman here, and this morning I am doing something a little special. I'm actually going to be heading over to DFW Honda, and we're going to be riding down to Troup, Texas. And you may be wondering, what the heck is in Troup, Texas? Well, that's where the Motor Trike factory is, where they build the Trikes. And we're going to take a tour, and I'm going to take you with me, and we're going to do a tour video of the Motor Trike facility. DFW Honda is only about 10 miles from my house, but in morning traffic, especially on this highway going to DFW Airport, it can take a while to get there. Fortunately, it only took me about 15 minutes before I'm pulling into the parking lot at DFW Honda. Now it's early, they're not open yet, and I'm the first one here. I'll be waiting for a few other people to show up because there's going to be a group of about 4 or 5 motorcycles riding down to Troup, Texas. Now you might be wondering, why are we going to Troup, Texas? Well, I put out a video about a year ago where I reviewed a Motor Trike, and it got a pretty big response. There's a lot of you out there interested in trikes, and DFW Honda just happens to be the largest Motor Trike dealer in the country. So before long, Don and Julie Cruz showed up on their beautiful blue Goldwing. They're going to be joining our ride today. And as you can see, we'll have a beautiful Texas sunrise as we get ready to leave DFW Honda. So as we begin leaving the Dallas-Fort Worth area, you can see there's 3 bikes behind me. That's a couple of folks from DFW Honda, as well as Don and Julie Cruz. Nick Heitman is the manager of DFW Honda. He's in front of me on an Africa Twin. This is the least fun part of the trip, and that's getting out of the DFW Metroplex area because the highways are always crowded in the morning with lots of traffic. And I don't have my GPS hooked up. I don't have helmet communications. We were unable to get that to work for some reason. It is a beautiful morning for a ride here in Texas. Blue skies with some clouds to help keep that sun out of our eyes. I'm just trying to stay with the person in front of me because I don't have my GPS. I have no idea where I'm going. And fortunately, we were able to make it all the way through the DFW traffic heading southeast. And before too long, we were riding some beautiful roads near Troup, Texas. Probably the last 30 minutes of the ride was really amazing. Well, we made it here to Motor Trike in Troup, Texas, and we're getting ready to go inside and check out the place, maybe have a little lunch. There's all the bikes lined up. The entrance into the Motor Trike facility starts out with a visit in their showroom where you can see several of the trikes and products that Motor Trike manufactures. After a quick look around, we head into one of the offices where we're introduced to J.D. Vey, Vice President of Motor Trike,
and he's going to take us on a tour of the facility.
Now we're here at Motor Trike, and I am with JD, and he is going to show us around and show us the process of what it takes to turn a Goldwing into a trike.
All right, so this is our showroom here at Motor Trike. This is typically where most of our customers come in and view different products if they're here to see them. This is also the waiting area if they're here getting some service done. One of the things we like to do is any customer that's a Motor Trike customer over the years, we encourage them to come to the factory. They can see how things are built. We'll do a free PM check. We'll kind of go through their unit while they're taking a tour. As long as they schedule it ahead of time, we'll put it up on a rack and go through it. It allows us two things. One, just gives you a peace of mind, and number two, it allows us to continuously check on our products. We've been in business 31 years now, and so the more we get our hands on it, we can see things. If we're seeing anything, 10 years down the road or stuff, we can continuously make improvements to our products.
Very cool. Love that green.
That's that snake venom. So we custom paint some bikes for people and for dealerships. So this one is the snake venom, and it kind of flops from green to purple. Changes based on the light and where the positions are on it. But it's been a very popular color choice.
Now I see it turning colors here.
So these right here are our display unit models that we kind of use to go around to shows. We leave them in the showroom. This saves people from having to crawl underneath our units to kind of understand or wonder what it is underneath that. One of the main things that we do here that's kind of unique. So we do all of our own design work. We have all of our own in-house engineers. So we control the whole process start to finish, from the concept to the implementation of it. We control all the manufacturing here in-house, from the welding, the fiberglass, the painting, and what we're doing. And what we do is we kind of have an envelope for where we use a lot of common parts. The most that we do, we try to get as many parts common to every trike kit, whether it's a belt drive or a shaft drive. And the reason we do that is, one, it gives us buying power, commonality, and two, it just gives us more tried and tested parts with the same parts over and over again. So you can see this is one for a Condor, like a 17 and up 1800 Goldwing. This is a shaft-driven motorcycle, and you can kind of see the whole setup on it, what it is, the rotor for the trigger wheel for the ABS, and then also for the parking brake for the DCT models. And then, it has the differential that we use, the Ford 7.5-inch half shafts. Common parts to us with our patent are air springs, or airbags as they call them, the onboard compressor that controls all of these items. And so that's what you kind of see here. Whereas on this one, you can see this would be for a Harley, this would be a belt drive. You can see where it's on there, but a lot of the frames and tubes before it attaches to the motorcycle are very common and same, the H-arms, the camber links, the trunk floor, all the body, that kind of things. It's just the tubes and sections that attach to the motorcycle. That's where we really put the unique part of it for each brand of motorcycle. And on this one, it has the pulley for the belt drive. We use the stock pulley and the stock belt. And then it actually has a flywheel for the units that want an electric reverse.
Okay. How many brands do you build trike kits for?
It's going to be 10 to 12. We do Hondas, Indians, Harley Davidsons, Kawasaki's, Yamahas, Triumphs. We do a little bit for Suzuki. Okay. So this is our installation bay. This is where we do conversions for dealers. We do some maintenance for customers, and we do R&D with our engineering team and everything. And so you got Richard Graham here. He's been here how many years? 25 years. I know he doesn't look old enough to have been here 25 years. But basically, we make all of our lifts. They countersunk into the floor, so we don't have to have ramps to get them on and off, and they'll sink down there, and then we just have a hydraulic lift and a clamp. And right now, all he's going to do is he's going to strip this off to add the trike kit. And so basically, you can kind of see once everything's off, once the swing arm comes, here's the stock Goldwing frame that we're just going to attach to, remove the rear wheel tire assembly, shock, and then all of that's going to go off. And then the trike kit's right there, and you basically are just going to roll it up in there, and then we can kind of walk you through how we attach it at another stage of the process.
Sure.
This bike right here is at a stage just a little bit further than that one where it's already had everything removed. And so basically the trike kit will roll up on here, the chassis tubes go up, and then the pivot pins where the original swing arms go, that's where we're going to attach back there, and then we're going to attach back here on the frame in 2 sections. And that's where we kind of coordinate everything to kind of fit together. And then one of the things we really work hard on as a company is we want everything to fit with the factory options. So we use the factory mufflers. They're obviously very large on these motorcycles. This is a very large challenge for us on this one. Mufflers are getting bigger as the engines get bigger and emissions get more controlled and quietness. So these mufflers are very large. You can also see how we integrate with the trailer hitch, bumpers. All of these items are still on here. How they mount and all the components that go here.
What is the total weight of the kit, and how does it heavier? How much heavier is it than the standard?
It really depends on the number of options, but you're going to add about 200 pounds to the weight of the motorcycle, depending. If you add a few more accessories and load it all out, it might be as much as 300. But
Okay.
most of the weight's going to be at center line and below. It's not, it's not going to be, way up high on everything. It's all down low. The weight of the differential is going to be heavy. The 2 wheels and tires are going to be real heavy. That's really kind of where the weight comes in.
Okay.
The mufflers are still the same. The tour pack's still the same. The body's going to weigh more than those. So really the weight of the wheels and tires and the differential is kind of where the weight increase comes in. Motorcycles are interesting. Before about 2010, 2012, everything in the motorcycle industry was certainly just old school 12-volt systems and wires. Harley came out with the Rushmore project in 2012 with a little bit of a CAN bus. Then, Honda's had a little bit of stuff with circuitry. And then Indian came out with a ton of circuits when they came in. Then the Goldwing when they came to the 2017s, the current Goldwing model. So the CAN bus systems everything's 2 wires now. We've had to design a lot of circuit boards and circuitry to be able to adapt and integrate seamlessly. All the addition of LED lights and what's going on, that's really changed as time's gone on. So the load variations and picking up, the bikes are a lot more sensitive. So we have to be very aware of the vehicle systems, and they're not the same. Honda, Harley, Indian, all 3 exceedingly different. Most of the manufacturing has been moved to the new location. This is one of the only 2 places in this building where we still do manufacturing. So one unique thing about everything we do at Motor Trike, and this is going to be something that's really understand, we don't have any finished goods inventory. You will see nothing. We do not have room. Short of a painted body, all trike kits start and finish in 5 days or less, from raw material to a finished good. And so when you see things, you're like, well, I don't see a lot of trikes laying around. That's because we don't have room. And when you get to the rest of the plant and you see what we do here, and what you see here is these are the various pulleys for all the different model belt drives we sell. Indians, Harleys, Triumphs, Kawasaki's, you name it. And Harley has 1 million pulleys for all of their years. And then we make all the solid axle ones and the independent ones all right here as well. And one cool thing about our products for our diffs is the spider gears inside the differential, it's exactly the same, both on the Harleys and Hondas. So on the Harleys, it's a sealed set of spider gears, and then we attach the pulley to the carrier on the outside. And on the Hondas, it's an oil-based one, and we put it in that way. So we have a lot of commonalities. And one of the most common questions people are like, why is your diff so big? Why do you run the Ford 7.5 specifically? Well, you could go with a smaller diff. Power is not the problem. It's way overkill for what we're doing, but the part commonality. All the differentials smaller than that, they haven't been obsolete for decades, and they're not there. So everything's custom and all of that. Every Fox body Mustang from 1979 through whenever has the same seals, bearings type application, Explorers for the longest time. So the part availability, the commonality for just the basic fundamentals, we don't have any custom seals. We don't have any custom bearings. Everything is off the shelf. So we could, if you were broke down in northern Alaska, and you needed a part, our bearing isn't custom to our application. We could give you a reference number. We could help you out that way. Now, we don't have a lot of issues like that, but it's just a for instance part. Like once you get 20, 30 years down the road, you want a pinion seal, okay, it's going to be pretty easy to find.
Right.
And so it's a tried and true technology. And we have plenty of strength for everything you're going to handle to. Right here, this is a busy location. This is where trike kits line up before they go outbound to different customers all around the world. So we do the installations for dealers, but most of the kits that we sell, they ship out in a crate and they go everywhere to the dealers. They're installed locally. Like we can only touch so many people here in Troup, Texas. we're not really on the way to anything. We're kind of in the middle of nowhere. And so just being able to have dealers all over the country allows customers to have access to our dealer network, the support network. We encourage people to buy their trike from the local dealerships for service points. And like once they've sold, they can always do whatever they want to do, but it's easier if they've been your customer and you've been buying stuff from them for them to want to service you better, I should say.
Right.
Your experience typically works better that way.
The Motor Trike facility is massive, over 90,000 square feet on 3 acres.
So this is probably our busiest area of business for us. So these are all of our downdraft booths for the Motor Trike paint and fiberglass. You'll notice they all have glass walls, they all have grates in the floor, and then they have holes in the opening, so they get a lot of airflow through there to keep the dust down. We want the employees to not feel like they're in a dungeon. Every body has a check sheet where it goes in a window. It takes a 9-day process from when we start the body till it's finished painted and ready to go out the door. And that's just what we do. We can be faster, but that's what we budget is 9 days, start to finish. We don't start the rest of the trike kit till day 5. So everything gets ready and comes together at the same time. Time is money for the customer and our dealers, and people don't want to wait. So we typically keep our lead times right at about 4 weeks. We're very fast at what we do. We kind of budget that, and we'll raise our capacities based on the sales orders to kind of keep them at that number. The best way to describe how we do fiberglass in a mold is everybody knows about cupcakes, right? So when you want to make a cupcake, you make the cupcake look how you want it to. So once you get the cupcake defined, okay, well now you want to make more than that cupcake. It took a long time to make it. That's like our plug. So we make the plug how we want. We CNC machine it, whatever the need is that we need to do. We design it in CAD. Then once you take that, we want to make a pan. So we want to make a cupcake pan. That's our mold. And so we'll make our own molds. That's what we do. We're really good at it. And we'll make all of our own molds. Then once you have the mold, then we can make as many cupcakes as we want. If we need multiple cupcake pans, we'll make multiple molds. If we need one, we only need one. And then we'll kind of go from there. And then that's kind of how we go. And then we'll mix our fiberglass. And we have a lot of closed molding. You're going to see that where we get smooth-sided parts on both sides. We have reusable silicone bags. We have hard tooling for light RTM. We have some SMC parts. We have lots of injection molded tooling as well. That's not done on site, but we have about 100 tools around the world that we do different things for us and for other companies. That is the Motor Trike area for the bodies. We have more molds in other locations, but these are the most common ones. And so we'll be making those bodies. They'll lay them up. They've got a fixture and how we do things. So this is our 6-axis CNC routing robot. We use this for fiberglass, for Motor Trike, for our commercial products. And so the robot goes and picks whatever tool the program is. The fixture has an RFID tag, so we make sure that we have the right fixture on it when we put the tool on. And so here it is, and it's getting ready to go. So on a tool cavity, we'll have a main cavity right here. This will be max vacuum. We'll pull through that port, and what that does is that holds the mold together. So it'll align on the outside lip. This pulls down, it will not come apart. It pulls it down. But in the cavity, it's an art form. You have to inject with a certain pressure, you have a certain head pressure, then you have a certain amount of vacuum. Depending on the resin, styrene boils under vacuum, so you have to regulate it down to a different number to create a pressure differential. And so when we infuse the parts or inject them, it's just a combination of getting the right injection pressure and then having the right vacuum pressure. And then each part is a little different. And so that's what you're seeing over here. So we've got molds like this where they're hard tool on both sides and the parts come out smooth on both sides of the part. So like people are always wondering, you know, fiberglass gets a bad name, but you can see it's super smooth on both sides of the part. So if you've ever been to any major rally and seen Motor Trike over the years, you've probably become synonymous with our big yellow truck. We've had one since about 98, I think. So this one is about 20 years old now. We use it to go to all the shows, the haulers where they live when they're on the road, and then all the bikes get stored upstairs. It's equivalent to like your current like race teams that you see at NASCAR or any of the other professional race series. bedroom, bathroom up in the front. We got a bathroom in the back. All the tools and all of our storage for stuff is in the back. And then all the motorcycles go upstairs. Okay, so here's where most of the trike action happens down here. So this is our weld bay. We have 3 robotic welders, 2 different stations for them. So we design all the weld fixtures, all the parts. We turn over the inventory 10 to 12 times a year. The assembly line's over there, and I'll kind of walk you through when we get over that. These are some fixtures for other parts that we do. So some of our other commercial lines will have tables and stuff for heavy fab for that. We've got all the raw material for our other projects over here, cold saws. The robots do weld everything, and we do program them and have full control, but before any of these parts actually go in, we'll do the daily schedule QC inspection, bearing press, and go to paint. And to give you kind of an idea of the speed that you're seeing here, if we set up fixtures, we can go from raw material to a frame with all 4 stations and 2 people about every 15 minutes. We can finish a trike kit. At our scale and our volume, the robot does a great job getting us to this point. And then, just make no mistake, people's lives depend on what we build, and so we make sure there's redundant. There's pretty much 3 redundancies on everything that we do. We were looking at differentials earlier. So when they come to the assembly line, these are all the belt drive differentials for the various Indians, Harleys, and then over there there'll be some shaft driven ones. There's a couple on that rack, and then these are frames that are painted ready to go down the assembly line for their scheduled day. So every trike kit that as it comes down the assembly line will come with a check sheet designed by our engineering team. They'll have all the part numbers, the torque specifications, the check sheet, all the documentation, all the hands, and once they go through that, they'll have a checklist. We'll have a written record of it. Anybody working on our assembly line is our most senior employees. Typically, anyone down here has been here at least 10 years. They need the least amount of supervision, and they're most dependable people. They're really good at what they do. Every order is built to order, and they come on down the system, and that's what you'll see come through. And all the brake lines, the calipers, they're all unique. A Honda, a Harley, it has green tag or red tag. Green tag means it's done. Nothing needs to be done. No manager, no anybody needs anything. If shipping needs the kit for an install or they need to take it for a shipping date, it's gonna go right away. If it doesn't have a green tag, it's not ready. It won't move until then. All the check sheets will go through. This one, you can see the electric reverse. It's got the flywheel on it. I can rotate the whole stand. You can see it's got the flywheel. It's got the electric motor on there to control it. It's got all the harnesses and the kits that go into it. It has its own relay box up here. You can see the swing arm kind of goes up and mimics where the original swing arm was right here. I'll show you R&D, and then we'll go to wiring. So this would be our R&D labs, and what makes it unique is our engineers store down here, our conference, all of our 3D scanning. So when we bring a trike and we do something, we're going to digitize it. So we're going to digitize the bodywork, the frame. We have to be able to interface with the tour packs, the side covers, just everything. And they're just getting more complicated as time goes on, and that's what you see. Our engineers are unique. We get our hands on everything. So anytime we do a prototype, it gets built down here. And that's kind of what we do. So we can do heavy metal fabrication right here. We can put a bike on a lift right here. We can do QC inspections in there. So we have a full wiring bank right here. If you see all the different kinds of wires, it's amazing how many different colors and gauges and segments. A tremendous amount of variation in the gauge thickness and everything as it goes on. And as I said, most of the motorcycles in this day and age, they are very sensitive to the loads on them now. They're so regulated, everything's getting more efficient with the circuit boards and the size of the gauge wires. Every one of those pigtails is for a various harness, whether it's for a motorcycle, accessory, a side-by-side, whatever. Then on this side right here, we do assembly work for the Hoppy line products. Some of our biggest accessory that we sell over here is our Mini for the Hoppy. These are sound bars with and without RGB lights that we sell. They range from basically $9.95 to $11.95, and they're a high volume seller. And so you'll see those. We have our fairings for the Hoppy side, so we'll do all those here as well. And that's what they're doing, is all the assembly work on them. So you can see now, once he gets the tubes run up where the pivot pins, he's got those installed. These bolts are all still loose right here, and how we attach it. And eventually we'll pick it up with the chassis to make sure we hold it the way we want. And you can
How
see
long does it take from the time they bring a bike in to get it?
for just the kit, I would say 6 to 8 hours, depending on which one.
Okay. Not bad.
That doesn't include the running boards or the rate kit edition on some of them. I would say that gets in depending on the accessory lines. But just to roll it up, get it on there, get the body on, it's pretty quick. And people always look at it when it's here. They'll see so there's a lot of questions about CVs and warrant maintenance and stuff like that. So this is in the full droop. So the bike will never actually ride here without the weight on it. And then what happens is the more weight you put or the bumps you hit, this thing will get more in line with its travel. So we stay right there. We hardly have any CV issues, and we have hardly any drive shaft issues, especially since we went to this model and this design and where we have everything. We redid it about a decade ago, and now we have little to no issues at all at it. So our warranty on the paper is 3 years, 60,000 miles, but a warranty is only as good as the people that stand behind it. And Motor Trike's always stood behind our products. People, even when they're out of warranty and they've stopped by here or something and it shouldn't, we're really good at working with you. And we want to make a great product. I really never want it to break. We have a large dealer network. We stand behind it. Why, when you look at your different trikes and where they're going to be and who it is, we know a lot of people in areas and where we can help people get that kind of service done. But our warranty is very strong at 3 years and 60,000 miles. Anybody advertises more than that, it's really kind of useless. To put 60,000 miles on a bike in 3 years is a pretty, there are people that do it. Now, please don't get me wrong, but there's not that many.
I think we were all quite impressed with the scale of the Motor Trike operation. From design to engineering to fabrication, Motor Trike has built a solid reputation throughout the industry for quality and reliability. So if you're in the market for a trike, check out their website at motortrike.com. You can use their dealer locator to find Motor Trike dealerships worldwide. I'd like to thank JD for taking the time to show us around Motor Trike facility, and a big thanks to our friends over at DFW Honda in Grapevine, Texas for arranging the factory tour. As a matter of fact, if you're in the market for a Goldwing motor trike, DFW Honda has a huge selection. Trike buyers can fly into DFW Airport, where DFW Honda will pick you up and bring you to the dealership to get all that paperwork out of the way. They'll even put you up in a nearby hotel so that the next day you're fully rested for the ride home. DFW Honda has beautiful scenic routes already arranged for your ride home, no matter which direction you might be heading. I hope you enjoyed this video and this insight into Motor Trike. If you have any questions, put them in the comments down below. And if you enjoyed this video, do me a favor, please give it a thumbs up. That really does help my YouTube rankings. And until my next video, remember what I always say, ride often, but ride safe.